Once we're live, Vic, can you type something so I can see the chat? Okay, good morning, traders. I believe we are live on YouTube. I still don't see the chat as yet. Let me go again, see if the chat pops up. Good, got it now. Okay, thank you, Vic. Yes. So, good morning, traders. We're going live from our trading room because for this week, we're supposed to let you know about this since earlier, but I wasn't feeling well, so we didn't give you that notification. I'm feeling a little better now. So this entire week, we'll be going live on YouTube. We'll be giving you free access to our trading room. For today, this morning, the London session, and this afternoon, the New York session, we will be live on YouTube. After that, you will have to register to access the webinar for the rest of the week. The two links to register for the London and the New York session will actually be in these videos in the description. It's not there as yet, but we will post it in the description a bit later after the video is out, after the live session is finished. Please go there. You can rewatch it as much as you want, as well as you can register for those webinars. You will get access to our trading room for the entire week, 2 sessions a day, right? So if you're watching this for the first time and you want to know what this is all about, my name is Anil Mangal, and we do something called wave analysis, something I created a while back. I think you might have, if you're a trader and you actually looked up anything in YouTube, you might have seen a lot of wave analysis out there. Well, most of them are what was taken from me, right? So I want to show you guys this before we move on, because one of my traders, the reason we are also doing this is we will be having a live session very soon, right? Very soon we'll be having a live session with a live training course coming up. And I want you guys to decide if you want to join us, if you like what we do. So, but before I do that, I wanted to show you this thing. One of our traders actually went, if I can find that thing, went and one of the sites, I think was in Telegram, and he actually search my name there, and surprisingly there were like quite a lot of people there with Anil Mangal. None of them are me, although my photograph is there. None of them are actually me. So if I can find it, let me see if I can find it. It's somewhere here. I think the photograph, yep, I got it. So I'll bring this up so you can see it. I think you can see, right? So you got to be aware of this, because all of these, none of them are mine. And I guess you will find some on YouTube, you will find some maybe on WhatsApp, you'll find some on different. I think there's a lot of different places where you will, even on Facebook, you might find quite a lot of them with my name on it, and even my photograph, they're not mine. So when you hear about scammers, these are what you call scammers. If you want to know someone is scamming you, they're hiding under something. I'm not hiding anywhere. I actually am here. You can actually meet me live if you wish to. A lot of traders have done that already, right? You can meet me live, you can talk to me, you can have coffee with me, and I'm here. I'm not going anywhere ever. I created this system, and I'm helping traders understand how it works and train them to use it, right? Ovidio can tell you he met me, right? So there's a lot of people who met me in Dubai, and people who are living here also, very good friends of mine. So I'm not going anywhere, right? When people are hiding under some kind of, thing like that, those are scammers. So if you hear somebody say, hey, this guy's probably scamming, well, it's not me. It's one of those. There's only one single place you can find me. That is in my trading room. Everything else you find out there about me will be a video of me doing a webinar, nothing else. I will never ask you for money. I will never send an email asking you for money. I will never ask you. I think one of them has this, if I bring it up back again, because this was very funny. And I find it surprising that traders fall for this trap, right? See this trap here, see what this guy's saying? If you invest 200, you're going to earn 3,200. I'm like, yeah, that's amazing, right? It's a scam. I would never, ever say something like that to any trader ever in the world. And You can ask even the people who hate me, because a lot of them out there do hate me for what I do. They'll never be able to tell you that I ever said that to them, because that's not something I would do. So anybody telling you anything like that or asking you to do anything, is the only thing you can do if you want access to my work is join my trading group. And right now, there's a lot of traders in the group. I'm actually going live from the group itself. We're in the trading room. So they're witness to the fact that, hey, yeah, he never actually sold anything else beside that. I'm not selling any signals. I'm not making money for you by asking you to give me money. That is never going to happen. So if anybody send with my photograph or anything like that, you should know that that's somebody trying to scam you, because that's never going to happen. I don't have a website also, because I'm not in the business of selling stuff. I keep saying this and I repeat it until you get it. I'm not in the business of selling stuff. And I know what I'm saying because I was in the business of selling stuff when I had my retail stores. I had a chain store. That was what I did before I became a trader. So I know what I mean when I said I'm not in the business of selling stuff. That's why I don't need a website. A website you need when you're in the business of selling stuff to people. You're going to have promotions. You're going to give them Black Friday discount. I don't have all of that stuff. I'm doing one thing. I'm helping traders to become successful, to learn, to understand, and to analyze the chart and make proper trades, to understand how to do risk management, to understand how to do trade management, which is the number one thing you will ever learn, how to do trade management. Now, if you at this point leave the video here, you're going to lose for the rest of your life, because this is where you need to do. The number one thing you would ever need to learn to do as a trader is called trade management. You can click a trade exactly at the wrong place. But if you're good at managing that trade, you can get out for very likely a small loss or break even. And you can click a trade at the exact point where you need to click it, which is the right place. And you can end up losing on that trade because you manage it poorly. And during this week, if you joined us, I would show you how that is done. I would literally show you traders selling here and taking a loss, because this thing could come here and then go back up there and you lost that trade. And you're like, well, this whole stuff is not working, man. What is he talking about? And we can buy here. And it can drop like this and come back here and still drop. And we will get out of that trade for break even. So we can do both. We can do a sell and a buy. And if you manage that trade properly, you will make a profit in one or make break even in the other. Or you might even take break even in both. It's all about how do you manage the trades you're in. Now, you shouldn't be doing that, selling and buying all the time, because you will be looking for the setups that shows you with the direction the trade is going to go, which means you want an advantage in the market. The whole point about doing any analysis at all, you can just click buy and sell at any given point and hope your luck is good enough and, you know, the moon is lined up with the stars and it's your star and you're going to make a lot of money, or you can flip a coin and say, hey, I'll guess heads, I'm buying. And you might make money. The whole point of doing an analysis is that that analysis is going to give you an edge in the market. That's the whole point. Beside that, you don't need an analysis. You don't even need a strategy. You need a strategy to say, well, okay, if this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm going to limit my loss should it not go in my direction. So strategy is to say, how do I protect myself from this specific trade I'm taking should it not go in my way? So the strategy is for you to put a stop loss. It's to say, I'm going to buy here, but I'm going to put a stop loss here. Should it go against me and I didn't manage to get out, thank God I'm out with this minimum amount of loss that I've agreed to. And the strategy also is to give you a good entry, to say, well, you know what, if it's still going to go my way, or if it is going to go my way, where should I actually enter? So whole strategy is built on where you enter, where you exit. That's basically what it is. The analysis is to give you the direction, the strategy is for entry and exit. And then the trade management is the advantage you're actually going to get by saying, okay, it's not going my way, but I shouldn't actually allow it to go take out the stop loss before I figure out I'm wrong. If I figure out that I'm wrong way before and I can get out of that trade, then maybe that's an advantage, right? That's what the trade management is about, is giving you an extra advantage. Say, you know what? You're in a sell, but this sell is not going to go. So you may as well get out of it. And the question you're asking yourself right now is, how do you know it's not going to go? Well, join us this week. If you join us this week, we will show you how we know that this is not going to go, or what are the rules we have to say, you know what, this one most likely wouldn't go. Let's get out, let's re-enter, or let's wait for another setup. That's what wave analysis is about. And if you really want to learn wave analysis as an analyst to understand it, and then if you really want to learn to trade and become a successful trader, you would need to join our group, because you can go out there, buy a lot of courses, probably not going to get it, because I know a lot of traders who bought a lot of courses and then end up here eventually, right? But if you want to learn to trade, join us. Send me a Skype message. The Skype is also in the description, and I'll give you the details. During this week, we'll also give you a chance. If you cannot pay for the course in full, we'll give you a promotion so that you can still join us. You can still have access to the live sessions, but you wouldn't be full-time in the group, which means you would not be in the training session, which is starting this November, mid-November. I guess in a week or two, we'll start a live training session. And the main topic or the main, well, I should say topic or the main idea of this training session, filling the gaps. What that means we have 3 already recorded training sessions that we did previously. Traders have access to those. They will go through all of those. And then the rest of this one, for 8 to 12 weeks, we'll be doing Q&As and practice. That's all. Filling all the gaps that the traders have. So if someone is unsuccessful and he can come and say, well, I'm not making money, let's tell me why I'm doing it wrong. We will answer all his questions and we make him do practical part, which means he's going to tell us how he sees it. He's going to show us where he's making mistakes. We will correct it, and we will see how he does further. So by the end of that session, he should probably be pretty good at it. Fill all the gaps he's having in this training one. So this training course is going to be different from all the training courses I did before. But you have to know all of them before you can do this one. So you join us, you will have access to that. You will have access to watching all of those courses, 3 of them, 3 full courses recorded. They're all different. You're not going to find that anywhere else. And then you get to do a lot of practice with us. Like I said, there's no limit to how long this will go on. It will be anything from like 8 to 12 weeks. So if you'd like to join us, I think I've taken too much of your time for that. Let's go. Let's start. Dollar index. By the way, my traders, why I was in that trade, that was a sell setup. I hope you saw it. I think that's on the Pong Oz. Was it on the Pong Oz? Let me go back to that. Sorry. Not the Pong Oz. Anybody remind me which one was it? Anyway, we'll get to it. So this trade, we discussed this in the Asian session this morning. You know what to do, right? I'll come to that later. Let's go. Let's start with the dollar index. Dollar index, it's making a flat here. We'll probably get a sell setup. Once it comes back to the top here, we'll be looking for a sell setup. So you actually want this to come here before you do the sell. Don't sell into this going down, because you know what happens if that goes down, we can literally be going up. The bigger picture on this one is upside. So let me go through the bigger picture very quick. This is a flat for upside. We're at the bottom of the flat. Any sell at the bottom of the flat is pretty dangerous. You know that, right? It can go more. I'm not saying this can't go more, but it might as well just break the low and then start going back up. So what we're going to do here is, if we take a trade, if we get a really good flat for a trade, we'll take it, but we'll take it with caution. I do think this can drop one more. See this drop here? That one did drop very nice. If this drop here, we could get a drop like that. If this comes here, we can get a drop like that and then probably start the upside. So we'll take the trade. We'll manage it. I don't think it's ready to go. I would only put an entry when we break this stop. So don't take it as yet. Wait for it to come back to this stop. Let me put a line to where we want it to come back to. And once it gets back to this stop, then we can consider the sell. So right now, I'm just putting this here. That's incorrect. You'll have to do it like this. This could break the low and go back up. So I think we wait. If we get a pullback and we get a flat, then we go with it. This smaller one means it can just break the low and turn. So we'll have to wait for that trade. Silver, same here. We're in this move, this big flat at the top here. We're at the top of this flat. Dollar index is the bottom. Silver is somewhere at the top, not exactly the top, but very close to the top. There is a possibility that this is going to go one more here. Again, that is not a trade we will take because we have all the consolidations here. So we will let this happen. We'll look for the sell setup. What if it breaks out? Traders sometimes say, well, you didn't take the trade, but look, it broke out. I'm like, okay, I'm good with that. Right? I know why this trade is dangerous. If you don't know that, then you're in trouble. I know why it's dangerous. I'm not saying it can go. Actually, I think it will go. But I don't think it's going to break this stop as of now. But if it breaks the top, no big deal. Wait for correction. Now you're confirming upside. And then we will come back to reanalyzing this. Is it making a running flat to come down, or is it totally taking off? We will come back to that reanalysis. Right now, we see it as this is a correction within this impulse. And that's the difference between wave analysis and not understanding wave analysis, is that you understand where the risk is, right? You can run across a road in the red light and you'll be okay, right? Not necessarily that you'll get hit, but not something you should practice. Right? I think we all agree that's not something you should practice. The red light is a warning sign that you should stop, because if you practice that, I'm guaranteeing you, you will get hit one day. Right? We know that. As a fact, you will get hit one day. The same thing is this. This is a red light. You don't have to take that trade. I know it's going to go a little more, but that's not a trade we want. If it has to go, then let it go without us. And there's a reason for that. Let's come to gold. Gold is coming down. I think the sell and gold would be a better trade for us. We're getting a nice flag here, and that's a perfect sell setup. Since we can come back all the way to the bottom, the sell is a good idea. Should it consolidate more, it will still be a sell. So go back to the 15 here. I think we're making a pretty good flag, a good argument for a sell. I like it. It's a 1 hour flat. Even if it's just going to drop and come back, we can deal with that. Right? We'll use a stop somewhere above here, above this one. Because if it should break here and go back up, we'll try to exit that trade before. It could break and then go make a, make divergence here and then go back up for a deeper correction, because all the down moves have deep correction, right? This one has deep correction. There was a correction here too. You can make an argument for that flat. You can make an argument just for this. So I wouldn't be surprised if this break and go back for a deeper correction, then drop. But we can manage that trade. Should it drop to the bottom, we can go with it. And we noticed that some do drop to the bottom, the sharp one. Dollar index just did that, right? You have a lot of corrections in this first move. You have a lot of corrections there, but this one actually drops straight through the bottom. So that happens sometimes. Come back here. I think we will go with a sell. I'll put this as a sell setup, an active sell setup. Euro dollar. Good. So we are actually at the top. We did come close to the top. We didn't break it. Take off the sell. So remember what we said this morning. Should it go higher, we will take that off. Assuming it's going to make a flat, which means you assume it's going to come here. You have a buy setup, and the same thing. Do you want that buy? Well, you probably can take it. We'll just have to manage it very, very carefully. But if you have a buy in the dollar and you have a buy in the, if you have a buy in, in euro, and you have a buy in Aussie, we'll go with the Aussie, right? Because euro can go up. This structure can be a structure that is trying to go up, but it looks very corrective. So I think we'll be more caution in this for the sell side. Should it just break the top and turn for the downside, we'll go with the sell. The sell is a better trade in this one. The buy at the top, there's not the best trade. The buy from the bottom, yes. The buy from the top, bad idea. So if we get a buy set up here, rather than buying the euro, which I think we will get a buy set up, we come and we buy the Aussie. Right? I think I explained this already. So we have a buy set up on Aussie, and I think Aussie is ready for the buy. Why? Because Aussie can totally go up. You put it like this, and we go with a buy on the Aussie dollar. We can probably bring it a few pips closer. Don't come too close, because they keep coming to the top and going back. And you have to keep it away a couple pips, maybe 3 or 4 pips away from the top. Because you don't want it to come back to the top, tag you, and then start, pulling back down in this range. If it breaks out to be a running flat, and it could possibly be a running flat, we have this one and we have this one. We will manage the trade. Again, we will get out of that trade for break even, then we look for the next one. If it takes off, and this could take off, there's a difference in structure between the Aussie and the euro. I think I showed that. Euro is making a flat at the bottom. Aussie is actually at the bottom of a correction that could literally go back up. So buying this one makes more sense. Even if it doesn't go, it makes more sense structurally. So we'll take the risk of buying this, and we'll take the risk of buying New Zealand. Same structure, same pattern. We're pretty much in a correction. This is the impulse. We're in a correction. We're at the bottom of the correction. This one is going very good. So we had one buy only, I think was from the bottom here going up, but this piece we didn't buy because it didn't complete the pattern. Take that off. And now we will go with the buy. So you'll have to make sure you're a couple pips above. If you're tagged in it, don't worry. You'll get out of it when it comes back and put it a couple pips above. If you're not in the trade, put it a couple pips above the top. Right? So let it break that top and prove it can break the top. This is exactly why you don't want to put it so close. I just actually didn't, I just put it, I wasn't thinking, but you should put it a couple pips above the top. So when it comes back here, if it doesn't break out now, you close it, re-enter. Don't keep it close, re-enter, and you get break even. If it goes through, if it just goes through straight before you can close, then good for you. Right? It's still a buy setup. So let me go back now to the pound. The pound dollar, it's going up, it's breaking the top. Don't buy it. There's a very small flag here. We're not buying this simply because of this structure. This is pretty flat. See, the difference between these and what we're looking at in the Aussie and the New Zealand is these are coming from the top, and we don't have a huge correction. We're now correcting that. The Aussie structure was looking like this, and Aussie was coming down like this. And we're at the bottom here trying to go up now. See, this structure is different from this. And even if we think this is a running flat here, let's just go with the assumption that that's a running flat. This is a big flat. That's a big pullback. So even if this is going to go up, you want a better correction here to prove that it's going to go up. A small flag like you're looking at right now in the 1 hour 15 minutes is not enough to say when this is going to take off. So should it take off, well, then let it go. Buy the Aussie, buy the New Zealand. And then when it stops and correct, we will start buying that. Right? Can they go up? Yes, they possibly can still go up. Yen, dollar yen. Well, we only want a sell setup here, but I don't think we have a sell setup as yet. So dollar yen, we do have a sell entry. We have an entry order to sell. There's a little risk in this sell, so I'll have to warn any traders watching me on YouTube as to whether they should take the trade. There's a little risk in that we have this pattern here. And if we're right about this being, let me use the yellow, 1, 2, 3, then this could just break below and go right back up. That's a risk, right? You have to be able to manage this trade carefully to get out. Now, let's assume that we're wrong about that, and this one here is the running flat. Right? If this is the running flat, then that is a top, and this will just keep dropping, and it could drop a lot. When I say drop a lot, I mean it could come back all the way to the bottom here. Now, considering that we have Aussie and New Zealand looking for a big move to the upside, I wouldn't be surprised if this comes back here and then go again. That will just give you 1, 2, 3, and then go, which means we could get a move down like that. Right? Possible. So if everything starts changing direction, this week would be amazing. We'll have very good sells on the yen, the CAD, and the Swiss. We'll have very good buy on Aussie, Euro, Pound, everything. For now, we don't know that. So the starting point is the Aussie and the yen, Aussie and New Zealand, and the yen, because these three structurally has that possibility. Euro and Pound is not showing us that possibility as yet. It's not that it can't happen, we don't see that as yet. So sell setup here is a good one. We can manage our way out for positive, right? So let's see. If it goes higher, we'll try to we'll try to put the entry order at the higher point, but right now I think you keep it where it is. Remember that sharp move up, we still haven't got it. So this could come back here and then go back up and then drop. Keep a stop here. See that possibility for that flat in there. And then go. Should it just drop through, we'll find a contracting flat. We don't forecast contracting flat. Let's go. Swiss. Okay, it's making a flat. We wanted to go up just a little higher, and then it's a good sell setup. Should it go a little higher, we'll sell, and then we'll see where that takes us. All right, this might most likely come and break this low. And from there, we'll see. Structurally, it doesn't give any sense of direction as yet for the up or the downside. I don't know if we should sell it as yet. Contracting flat or running flat with a short impulse. Nah, let it go up a little higher. I think it will go. This one has a little flat in there. You can see that. So this will probably make something like this and then go there and then come. This is pretty sharp. So not a fact that we're going to, that this is going to just come here and go. So we wait on the sell because that move is sharp, and that means if it's the end of the structure, they'll go up higher. Let's wait. We're looking for a sell setup though. We want to see a flat there that makes sense. Once we get it, we'll go with the sell. CAD. Okay, CAD is going down. We sold the CAD. We keep selling it, and it's keep going down. So I think CAD could go a little more. We have a number of possibilities here in the CAD. And we have this sharp move, and we have that sharp move, and now we're coming down. So we're still open to do fulfilling one at a time, which means first we wanted to say, well, this is the flat. It could probably come here and go back up. That's one option. If it does, we'll expect it to come back here and then go again. We're eventually going to break this top. So the question is it going to break it now? Or is it going to do all of these pull back and then break the top? The second one is, well, if we're wrong about that and this is actually doing this, and this is the top, and we're coming down. At some point, this will stop and make a deeper correction and then keep dropping. And maybe then go back and break the top. Let's see. We don't know which of those two is going to happen, but you will see the structure. You'll see the structure that will tell you which one is going to happen. For now, we're taking sell setups. We don't have a sell at the bottom here. That was the last sell. We closed that trade on Friday. So this is just a small channel going down. You probably wait for a correction before you sell. Right? Selling in this small channel going down is not the best idea you can have. So I think at some point we need this to pull back, make a flag like this, or even pull back to the top like that. We'll go with a running flat, and then the sell is okay. If we get a sharp pullback, we put the entry in it for the sell. If it actually corrects upward, we put the entry for the sell, because this channel is either a B wave or the end of the structure. Buying it here, well, we don't have a buy setup. When we get a buy setup, we'll go for it. So although it's dropping, selling here is not the best idea. Just wait. We're waiting for this. We can take that off. If it pulls back, then we'll go with the sell setup. Euros. Great. Let it come up and then we'll sell. Can we buy it to the top there? Let's see how much pips we're going to get if it goes. Did we break the low? The first thing you want to do is you break the low, because if it's a running flat, you probably, yeah, we broke the low. So running flat might be a risk, because we are not going to break this top. We'll probably get to about there, and then you come to this point where you are right now. You'll have to buy above the top. So that is going to give you about 50 pips with a stop that is about 50 pips, because the entire range is about 100 pips, right? The range is 109 pips. So you will have about 100, you will have about 60 pips stop for a 50 pip trade. It might be worth taking. The risk is it might not go that much too. So if you can get out of the trade, you can decide on that. It's making a flat here, which means this is sharp. If they go there and they pull back sharp like this, that would be a nice flat. Probably go with this trade. Right, there's trade to the upside. If it should drop lower, don't worry with it. But should it go up there, this could be a trade. If you have the skill levels and you think you can manage your way out of it before it comes back, then that is a good trade to go with. So I'll say wait for a buy setup, and you decide on that. You have to have the skill levels to do it. But then the next trade will be to the downside. Euro New Zealand. Okay, this one is going up. We want the buy here. We just want to be very careful with the buy. So if you're going to put the buy above the top, I think that's an option. You can do that. Just be very careful, because it's going up slow. At some point, it will have to take off. If it keeps going up slow, by rule, take it off. So I think we can take this trade simply because of the bigger structure. And there is a good chance they're going to correct this before they go. So either we're going to end up with a bigger flat here. Either we're going to end up with a bigger correction here for downside, or we're going to make a sharp move and then go down, which will give you break even, or they come back all the way to the top. Whichever. The trade is worth taking, because this is 1, 2, 3. This never broke the top. So we either total upside or a correction, drop, and then go back up. We do have divergence, and that is a good trade. So we can go for it, stay a couple pips away from the top. I don't know, 3 or 4 pips away from the top, and that's a trade. So we're going to put an active buy here. We'll manage it. Should it not go, we know how to manage that trade, right? Okay, we're looking for a sell setup here. There is no sell setup as yet. Even if it breaks the top, we would think running flat. So this is too sharp, which means at some point it comes back here, then go. So wait for that, like this, right? If it breaks the top, it doesn't matter. See, this one broke the top. Doesn't matter. It comes back here, and then it goes. So this was a sell, and then we started looking for buys. So you'll get that. So it comes back here, and then we'll look for buy setup to go. We might even sell this if we get a good setup. EuroCAD. Okay. It's kind of going sideways. We wanted to sell here. Let's see if it's still worth taking. Yeah, it's still worth taking. It's going up a little. Should it go back to the top, we'll take it off. Right? So as of right now, that is still a valid sell. Should it come back to this top, we'll look at a flat, go up, take it off. We don't want to buy in it. We're only looking for the sell. So if it makes a flat here, that could be a buy setup, and then we'll consider it, right? Should it be a flat? Let's say they come here. Come back here. Once it gets to about here, we'll take off this. We'll get a flat. We may consider this trade, because if this is all a correction, it could go one more and break that up. And then the downside. The downside will happen. Just in case you're new to my channel, or you're seeing this video for the first time and you're like, well, this guy is trying to do some magic here. Remember when this arrow was here, we didn't have all of this. And when this arrow went up, we didn't have all of this. So if you want to know whether that is true, you can go back to this date and go to any webinar that was on the 23rd of September. Somewhere around here when we started buying it, we started buying at this point. I think the first buy was there, but you can watch back at this point here. That was somewhere in September or October. You can go back and check the webinar and see whether that arrow is there, whether we believe it will go back to the top there. And then you can watch this happen with us together. Now, can it make a new high before it comes? That's possible. It could even be an expanding flat, which means it could even break this top and then go. But if we get a sell set up here, we'll take it. If we don't, then we'll just wait until we get it. Can we buy? Well, if I see a very good setup for a buy and I think there's a risk to reward in the trade, we will go for it. If not, we'll just leave it alone. Right? So we're going to see that. Right now, we're looking for a sell. It's still active. We're not changing that as yet. Euro Swiss. Yeah, short-term buy if you want it. It's happening. Just one more impulse and then be careful. Right? There's a short. If it doesn't go, if it starts consolidating here, we'll change it. Right? Because there is a possibility that there is a flat in here already. You can make an argument for whether this was the flat. Right? But you can also make an argument for a bigger flat here. So if this starts making a flag here, we'll just change it to a sell. But you need a flat. You need this to make something, not just one little pullback. You need to make a consolidation. We'll assume that they're turning from that point to go down. Right? This has much more to the upside. It could come here and then go down, or it could totally take off. Those two arrows are there, right? So let's see what happens at this point. It's a buy for now. Europa. Okay, let it go back up. I think it will be a bigger flat. That would even be better for us. And then we go for the sell. So you want this to go back up there, but you can keep this sell here. We want it to go back up a little, and then it's a sell setup. This was a good sell setup. Let's see if this becomes a good sell setup. So go back to the 1 hour, that trade. And if that drops, it could drop all the way to the bottom. We're breaking out of this structure. We could come back and retest the low. So the sell is a good one. I think this one has been giving some good sells to go and retest the low, and it did broke the low. We broke the low, we're going back. Should we retest the low? We'll see. We don't know that it will, but if it's going to retest the low, we want the trade. So let's go. What else? Pongos. Okay, so this one we had both the buy and the sell setup. And this is, if you remember what I started with today, that we can take both the buys and the sell, and we'll manage both out for break even if it should happen. So it broke the top, which means if you're in the buy, you just have to manage the trade. As of now, that trade is still good, right? I think as of now, the trade is still good. I don't like so many consolidations there. You pretty much know that that doesn't look very well. Maybe we can look at an extended running flat there. 1, this is a flat in the middle. 2, 3, that is making a top. We broke the top. So by all means, if this doesn't go, get out of the trade, right? I'll probably give it to the end of this 2 more candles, right? That will be the end of this hour. And then see where this closes and whether I will wait for the next one or not. Those are the options. Remember, this was a 15-minute trade, right? We did it in the 15. So if at any point in time you don't like it, take break even because it's not doing what you want it to do, right? It's not taking off like a rocket. And even if this is going to go, it might just break the top and come back. The bigger picture is downside. So the bigger picture is doing this. Consolidation for downside. It could be doing this, but doesn't look like that was what we were trying to do right now. So you still have time to manage the trade. There's no rush in it, and you have a stop. You know where you get. Stop is here. If this is making a bigger flat, we would take this off. This has to come off now because you got the buy. Take that off, and we would look to see whether we get a sell setup. Let's say that is the top one there coming down. Any sell setup, we'll take it. And the sell setup would mean that this would have to either break the top again and then come back here and make a flat, and then we'll go with that trade. Now, should this become a bigger flat or upside, we'll definitely buy this one, right? So we don't know how this will structure itself as yet. And that is why both trades this morning were good. At least you learn something, right? You get to practice on it. That's what we're putting in trade. So you can trade both sides and practice on it. Let's go. Yen. Okay, let's wait for a sell setup. We didn't buy this morning, although we saw it because it's very small. Now we wait for either a deeper correction or a sell setup. At this point, both possible. So either we get a sell setup today or we wait for a deeper correction and more upside. Pound New Zealand? Well, it seems like we're getting a buy setup. You want this to pull back, right? This happened. So let it pull back and give us a perfect flat. And then we're upside. Right? So this is what we want. We had the sharp one. We want this to go back up there, come back here. You want it to retest this low. And then we have a buy setup. I think that would be the perfect trade. So as soon as this comes back here, we start looking for the buy setup to the upside. And because we have this flat here, we're pretty sure this could go back up. Right? We have it, this one broke the top, but I think in the Euro New Zealand, we didn't break the top. See, Euro New Zealand, we didn't break the top. See, this one didn't break the top. So even if we retest the low, even if this comes and retest the low here, let's say it drops now and retest the low. I'll let it retest the low and turn and then look for the buy setup rather than trying to sell it here. But if it just comes to this level and go back up, we want the trade. If it comes only here, and if this comes back like this and then decide to go back up, I think the trade for the upside would make sense. If it's going to drop here, I don't think that really is worth trading, because we might end up with dropping here and going back there, and then that might make sense. Selling from the top there might make sense. If we see this, all of these are part of the entire correction for running flat. But the upside is the better trade. So Pound New Zealand, let's go now. Pound CAD. Okay, this looks like a sell setup for now. At least for now, until we come back to the top there, so we can put a sell here. Should it go back to the top, we'll take it off. Right now, it has to turn and drop, because if it goes back anywhere in this range, we're going to assume that it's making a flat for upside, and that would be a buy setup rather than a sell setup. You let it come back down, and then you buy it. This could be a buy setup, because I'm expecting this to go way to the top here. I'd wait, break this top. So we might get a buy setup at the top there instead of the sell. You just let it go up some more. Let this go up some more here. Take this off, wait for it to come back down here, and then look for the buy setup. Right, it's probably going to drop, and then that will be our buy setup. We'll try to buy it from the bottom here, or we'll try to get it from the top, whichever comes. So that could change. I'll put both ways for now. It could change, and we'll get it into a buy. Pound Swiss, same thing. This could come down a little more, but I think the bigger picture is upside. So we looked at this pattern a number of times already. The bigger picture is upside, no question. That's why we were buying from here going up. So the only thing is it going to make a deeper correction anywhere? I don't think it will. I think it will just go up. Even if this pull back, the sell might not be a good idea. So we just let it do what it's doing, and then we look for the buy setup. Take this out. This was a buy setup from here. Is it still there? Yes, take it out. Okay. So let's allow this to pull back either or consolidate, and then we look for a buy setup. Aussie Swiss. Okay, so it's coming down. If we get a flag, we sell. Sell for a deeper correction, and then we'll see where it goes. So it's just 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. Put an entry order. Go for the sell. Put in the 4 hours where we think it could go if it break. Well, not retesting the low, but making a deeper correction, because even if we're coming back to this top, we haven't really broken this low. This is really sharp, and this so far is really sharp. So one of them has to get very corrective, right? This might be the one. If this goes up to the top there, then we still get a big correction coming here, going back there, coming here, going back there, then drop. What if this starts to get corrective? What if this one is the one that starts coming down deep, back to the bottom here, and then go back up there? Make this flat, come here and go there and then drop. I think that's okay, because we didn't break this low. So we're in a corrective structure. We can sell this and see how deep this pulls back. So the sell is a good idea. It's an aggressive trade, but it's a good idea. We'll manage it. If it becomes 1, 2, 3 like this, right? If it becomes something like this, where it drops here, but it doesn't start going back up, I think we can close that trade. We might even consider the buy. So can it do this? If it does this, then yep, that would be good. We'll get a running flat here. And then we go back up. So this trade is worth going for. We'll put it as an active sell. Aussie yen. Yep, this one also we're looking for a sell setup here. There are two possibilities how that pattern could develop, but both of them first move is to the downside. So let's look for the downside here, right? Can it go up one more? Well, let it go up. If it can, then let it go. You don't need to buy the top of it. Right? They do have a flag here forming, and it probably might become more of a flat. I still don't think that's a buy, that we want, but by this afternoon, if it's still there, we can consider that. Consider one more impulse, take the trade, get out. You can put a take profit and then take the trade and get out and go for the downside. It's definitely going to go back down. Structurally, there is no option where it doesn't. Even if it breaks the stop, just a running flat, that's all. So we're looking for a sell setup. Aussie CAD. Okay, this looks one more up. Break the top. I see that possible. You can run with this as a running flat. We can make an argument that this here is a running flat. And that means this could go up one more, then come down. Because this is a huge flat at the bottom here, and we didn't break the low, so we're literally going up with a very big flat there. This is a huge flat here, and this is going up. So maybe just one more break the top and then come down. Let's see. It's a very big flat here because you can see that on the hourly, there's a lot of consolidation. We have a lot of consolidation here, so buy setup above the top makes sense. Let's see how far that takes us. Keep a stop under this low for the trade. We're expecting an impulse like this, and maybe even more. We'll see when it comes to that. But this looks like the running flat. We can go with that. So this would be a buy setup. An active buy, actually. That's Aussie CAD, sorry, wrong one. This is a sell setup we're waiting for. This is a buy. So should this go up, it's not going to go very far. We'll see. I don't think, remember, this whole structure still looks downside. Aussie, New Zealand. Okay, let it make a consolidation here. It made one, it's coming down. This would be the consolidation. Take a while here, but then we're selling. We're selling this from that top coming down. You can either stay with the sells or you can close and re-enter every time. Look for a sell setup. New Zealand yen. Look for a sell setup. All right, we've decided you want this to break out. You want it to break out. You want it to make a flag. See, it didn't break out here. It go back there. Let it break out. Don't try to sell inside that structure because they can stop here and go back up. You want it to break out. You want it to make a flag, and then you want to go with it. Now, normally we'll put an entry here, but these are so small that, putting an entry there might be a risk. If you want to put the entry, you can do that, but you have to manage it. See, this has a little consolidation here. I would be careful. Probably put it here. And the only reason we'll put that entry there is that this gives you a really sudden drop, which normally has happened in the news event. If there's a news event, there's no news event, it might just go slow. So this could still retest its stop again within this structure, right? Within this piece here. It could still go and make a new high. You could still go back, make a new high, then drop and then make a flag and then go. Or if there's a news event, drop through the bottom like this, then make corrections and go. So structurally, why we're expecting it to turn from there? Well, because we're in this pattern. See? We have 1, 2, 3. This is relatively sharp. This one is relatively sharp. This has more correction. This is absolutely sharp. So this could come down really fast. Right? Once that pattern is completed, we're going up one more. Right? Once they complete this pattern here, we'll expect this to go up one more. We have a lot of weird structures around this. I think one of them we're looking for is this as a possible 1, 2, 3 there. Make a pullback, 1, 2, 3, another consolidation, go again. We'll see. This whole piece here, this entire piece here is kind of a mess, if you can put it that way. You can see it. It's kind of a mess. So let's see what happens when they come down here and go back and break that top. Because when you break that top, we could literally be looking for downside. We might relook at the entire structure, how we look at it. Right? Because I think there's a lot of pieces in here that are missing. When we get them, we'll see. So you can put that entry under there with a lot of caution. Should it tag you and not go, you have to get out of it. Should it tag you and consolidate, get out of it. If it tags you and drop, that's a trade. Only for a drop. If it's coming down slow, get rid of it. So better to wait for it to break out of this whole thing and make a flag. That's a sell setup. New Zealand Swiss. Okay. Why we don't have an entry here for a sell? Oh, possible running flat there, but it's making a flag here. So let's see in the 1 hour if we can want to sell it. Probably not. Let's see. Do we have a big trade to the downside on this? No, we have more upside actually. I think we can expect it to come back to here and maybe more because we broke the low already. Yeah, the low is broken here twice, so definitely looks more upside. We'll see if they're making a flat here. Let's assume for a second that it's trying to make a flat there for more downside, right? Because the running flat is off. It's not the running flat, right? If you want to put a running flat, you have to put it with this one. So if we want to put it as a running flat, we'll have to put it like this and assume that this was the low. That's one option. The second option is, well, see, like this running flat. They broke the low, they went the back. Those two look pretty equal. So it makes sense. I'm not sure these two make sense as of now because this could be making a flat of its own. Although this is pretty sharp, I don't see it as a flat. Both of those are pretty sharp moves. The one to the upside, which is impulsive, that was very sharp. And the one to the downside was really sharp, which broke the low. So this could be total upside. Let's wait for a buy setup. Let's wait for this to make a buy setup rather than go for the sell. All right, let's see if it consolidates here and go here and then come back up. The buy setup would be a better trade. If it's going to keep dropping, then we have sell setups on the New Zealand yen. We can go with that one. That's a better structure for downside. Canadian. Okay, it broke the top. That's expected. It could still go a little more, and then we're looking for the downside, right? So that could still go a little more. It's making a small flag here. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't need to break the top because we already broke the low, right? So the assumption is it's going to go there, not necessarily equal. If it drops from here, that would be perfect. That would be a perfect running flat. So the idea is that it could come equally to that. If this goes up one more, I don't know if you want to buy it. That will be just one impulse. So if you bought this, you see it's not going anywhere. By rule, you should be out of it. And if you want to put an entry there, you can do that. Right? By rule, you should be out of that trade because if this starts dropping, we'll wait for a flag and sell. I do think they can go one more up. And then from there, we turn. So one more up, and then we'll see what happens from that point. We're looking for a sell setup. Cat Swiss. Okay, nothing here. No trade setup. Let's see what it does here. That's not a buy or a sell as yet. That's it, yeah. New Zealand cat. Buy setup. One more at least up. You can go with this trade with an entry above the top and at least one more to the upside. Maybe we can get the entry a bit lower if this drops lower. Let's see. Yep, once you break this low, we'll try to put it above this one here. But let it break the low first, then you go there. For now, keep it above the top. Expecting one more impulse up, and then we'll see what happens from there. At least one more impulse, and then we might complete this flat, right? We're looking at this as a 1, 2, 3. Maybe not. If they break out of this structure, you stay with it. Because we didn't break the low here. That could just be a deep pullback. So if it breaks out of this structure, stay with the trade. If not, we will come back one more, right? It breaks there, you give you a break even, come back, make a flag here. We start selling to retest this low. And then look for the buy setup from there. So that will come. That buy setup will come, but it doesn't look like it's this one because that was a deep pullback there. So it means we'll probably be stuck sideways for a while. If you take the buy, just want to break, maybe just break out, break the stop, take the trade off, put it to break even first, and then take out the profit and look for downside. We'll put this an aggressive buy. Swiss yen. Okay. Where are we in the bigger picture? We're at the top of something. Right? So could it come down totally from that point? We don't know. It's at the top, but there's a lot of divergence. We don't know if that's the end of it. The first move down wasn't exactly the sharpest move down. It did come down nice, but it wasn't the sharpest move. Now we're getting a flat in here. Right? We got this. This could break the top. And if we get 1, 2, 3 in here, the question is if you stay in here and you get to the top, we'll come back and then go one more. If we just break this top and turn, we could be dropping to the bottom totally. So on the 1 hour, what we do is we track this. I don't think this is upside as yet. But this piece was more like a correction here. Although that could have been an A-B squeeze, an A, a B in the squeeze here coming down and break the low. Watch this stop when they break the top. I don't think we have a buy setup here. I probably wouldn't buy this with this piece going down like that. Right? So if it's going to break the top, let it break the top. And when it breaks the top, we start to look for the sell setup. Right? Because it looks more like a flat within the move down. Right? Within this move, this has a big consolidation here. That looks more like a flat within the move down. So we can ignore the buy, let it go up and break the top, and then look for the sell. Can it go much higher into that top? Well, then in that case, you just wouldn't be in the trade. Because even unless I don't like this flag here, and then there's very small. It's very small. We're in the 1 hour, just make 2 candles, and it's making higher highs. It doesn't have a perfect buy setup. So let it go break the top, and then we look for the sell. Trade something else with the Swiss or a yen inside, right? The yen for the buy, which means you look at any yen pair that has a buy, or the Swiss for the sell. So we're getting a flag here. That's a sell setup. This was a good sell, actually, if you took that one. This one was a good sell. That one there, this one here. Now you're getting this sell. If you get a flag here, you can sell. But these flags are getting, right? You're selling these flags. Remember, that is ending the structure. This might be the last drop before you get another big correction. We're not making this running flat, which is good. Take that out. We're going down totally, which means this running flat belongs to whatever we're looking at, either this one or this one in the past. So somewhere there, this could be the top, and it's going down nicely. If it keeps going down, we're going to expect it to eventually drop. So you might get a deep correction somewhere, but it's eventually going to drop through the whole structure. So good, keep going, take the sells. I think that's a good sell setup. 15 minutes or 1 hour, that's a good setup. Just trade it with care now, right? Because after this big one, the small flags are going to eventually stop. They made one, they made another one, they made another one, they make 1 or 2 more, and then go for a deeper correction again. Natural gas, let's see. Yep, if you went for the sell, was good. It actually retested top, so you'd have to put it like this, and the sell setup would have been here or here. Right, so it did come back, it dropped, it broke the low. We are in this flat now. 1, 2, 3. You can look for a buy setup that will bring you back to this stop, right? So if you get a buy setup here, and I think we do have a buy setup, this here is a buy setup until it goes anywhere lower. Come on. I think we can go with this as a buy setup. If it retests the low, you can look at it this way. They're making a buy setup for upside. Or you can look at it this way. It's a flat, a flag for 1 more down. So you can put the name shorter here for the buy. If it goes anywhere lower, take it off. If it goes anywhere lower, take it. I don't think you need this sell, because we already broke this low. So the sell means it will just break this low and then go back up, right? We have this sharp wave and we have this sharp wave. So we're trying to get this one now. That flag, if it goes, it's going to come and break this top and then come back down again. So we've got one flat already out of the way. This sell here would not really help you. It would not be a big drop. Okay, the oil had a buy setup here if you took it. Going back to retest these tops. I think we're making this a big flat here. Somewhere in here, we're getting a huge flat. Somewhere in this piece here, it's becoming a huge flat. So that move up might be this and then downside. I was just kind of making a big flat here. Or each as a separate one. Can we put this as a separate one as well? And then assume this one is going to be a separate one. And this one is a separate one. I don't like the idea of all those separate ones. Because they're not making a lot of sense. They're just breaking the logo back up, break the logo back up. Well, wait until it gets here and then sell again. Because if this is going to go up, how high? You can buy it if you're actually in the trade for the buy, that's good. And if you had a buy set up here for this trade, might not be a bad idea. But be careful, because how high does it go before it sells? You can put a sell set up here now and wait for that. Should it drop? That's a trade. Because they drop sharp, they drop sharp. So the sell set up here is a good idea. It's going down really slow. There's a lot of divergence. But if all of this is some kind of a channel or correction, they can drop anytime. The downside is pretty huge if they want to go more. This could go a lot more. See, the divergence is the only problem here. but we're not getting a clear turning point. We do have this divergence, but we don't have a clear turning point as yet. See, this thing is dropping. This could drop again and then go. If it's going to go up, the only place you actually, if you're in this buy, you put it to break even, but if not, you have to wait for them to break the top, make a consolidation here, and then confirm the break of this top here. And that would confirm the trade to the upside after we reverse this one and go. But for now, it's still downside. And that could drop a lot. Remember the Aussie, how many times it dropped? US 30. Okay. The buy is still good. The buys are all good. So you may get another flag there. It still looks like a buy setup. Yep. They actually went up pretty high. So if you're thinking about a sell, take it off. See, it's almost at the top there. So wait for it to come down, make a flat, and then go for the buy. That's a pretty deep one now, right? Go to the 15. We can see it actually came back pretty deep. Came back pretty deep. This is more a 1, 2, 3, and this one is coming back to the top here. It's going to make another 1, 2, 3, and then upside. We look for the buy setup. So this one, the buy went, the sell didn't go. Right? We'll do the same thing. We'll wait for this to come back down and put the buy. We will not go with the sell. I don't think this time we'll go with the sell. This one is small. This flag was small, right? So putting the sell made sense. This one doesn't make sense. We had it this morning. You should take it off. Right? So wait for this. Where would that lead us? Well, this is what we have. And there's a very good chance we're coming to get this stop. And from there, we'll see what happens, right? When we get to the top there, this one could go, or it might start to make a deeper correction and then go. We're coming to break this stop. We're coming here, and then we'll decide 1, 2, 3. Is this an impulse down? Considering this? That'd be a good flat, right? So I think that possibility exists. So this to the upside is more trade. It's just a matter for how big that flag is going to be. So far, I don't think we're getting any sell. It could still go up. S&P 500, similar patterns, but different structurally, because this has a small flat here, and this is getting a deep correction here within this move, right? So this move had this running flat. You could go with this as a running flat here. I think we'll end up with this as a running flat. Take that out. We will take all of these out. Most likely in the bigger picture, that running flat proves more better, like a drop, a running flat, a drop. That makes sense. And now we're going up like this, not exactly aggressive as we want now. If this is all a correction, this goes and break the top. If it is not, then it will just come somewhere here. Probably come to this point and then drop again. And most likely like this, not as a single drop. So we go back to the 1 hour and see if we have buy setups. I think we can get a buy setup. This one was good. This one was good. There. This is good. This is good. I think we didn't buy at the bottom here because these were looking like flags. But from there going up was a buy. And the one we didn't buy at the bottom was the NASDAQ because NASDAQ was very flat. Now, this still has a sell setup. So if you want to put the sell, you can still put the sell on this one. You can put the sell here. Take out the sell from the US store to put the sell here. And if this gets higher, same thing, take the sell off. So for now, the sell here is valid. You can keep it under the low. It's still pretty valid. It could make a running flat, stay a little away from it. But this is sharp. So if this is making a flat here and it stays in this range, if it comes here and go back up and stay in that range, the sell is good. Right? It becomes invalid if it goes back to the top, right? If it gets higher, we'll take it off. So we'll put a sell setup here. You can put that on now. We'll put a buy setup here. Well, not as yet. It will come down first and then we'll put the buy. And that's that. Again, this one is pretty high. You can go with this sell, but you have to be careful because this one has come back, well, not that high. It's actually slightly above the 50%, so you can sell this. This might be worth going for the sell. Put it under this one. I think that's safe enough from there. The sell. So this one would be a sell too. Same structure, same thing at the top there. We're pretty close to the top. So if they want to drop again, yes. I think we did this in detail in the Asian session this morning on all the different time frames and the possibility of how it can develop. So the sell right now is a good idea. If it goes a little higher, take it off. That's one more impulse up, and then we'll see what happens from there, right? So good. Tesla. okay, if Tesla is going to drop now, sell it. This would be an expanding flat. Go for the sell. There's a flag forming there. Put the sell entry. If it becomes a flat, take it off. So this would be a sell too. And this is a sell. Take off the buy, put the sell. You have a nice flat here for a sell setup. You can go a little more aggressive. There's no need to. Okay, so here's what you're going to do with this one. You're going to watch it when it breaks this low and come here. If it starts going back up, close the trade. Because it can go back up. Not necessarily it will go back up, but it can. I'll take this off. And if we drop through the bottom, it's going to come here, break this low. Well, when it breaks the low, the possibility of the upside is still there. This one is still possible. This would be more like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then upside. So keep your eyes on that. I'll take this off. That is useless. This down move is finished. Take that off. We'll wait for this. We'll put it from here. Should it break that low? Should it just come here and go back up? Then we'll put in. We'll get 1, 2, 3, and then we'll be looking for the upside. So for now, it's a drop. It's a sell. Sell setup. Okay, let's go with this now on the 1 hour. And you have a sell setup here too. It could be a flat, so you'll trade this with caution. Put an entry here. And when you get tagged there, be careful that this could be a flat for upside. So you have to manage that trade with a lot of caution. The only reason it's a very good trade is because it's very high. See, we have to correct this or come back all the way to the bottom. So let's see if we get that trade. This one was perfect because this impulse was huge. And then you had the flag, right? Here we're getting the flag with a very small impulse. So the sell is a good idea. You just have to manage it carefully. Sell. If it should be a flat, you have to get out of that trade. This is the only one that has a sell setup that we wouldn't sell because the big picture is definitely looking upside here. So it doesn't matter how deep that goes, we can't sell it. This was a nice buy. If you took that out and you re-enter here, was a good buy. This was a good buy. So now we're buying to the top. We'll see what happens. That still is a buy. This is still a buy, maybe all the way to that top. It could be a deep correction here, though. If we're trying to make this, it could be a deep correction here. So if it's starting a deep correction, just leave it alone. Nifty. Okay. Wait for a flag to buy, and if it starts to drop, sell. Wait for a flag to buy. We don't have any buy setups now. In the 1 hour, there's no flag. You need a flag. Flag, a flat, something like that. That would make sense. So it starts with pulling back, and then you buy. You're buying to the top of this one, and then we'll see what happens from there. If it breaks out or it comes down back. I think downside is possible. No divergence, downside is possible. Bitcoin. Still going sideways. So we have the first running flat, which would be this one. I think it needs to go back up and then come back down, and then we'll look for the second running flat. So the second running flat would be this one here. Right? If this goes up and come back down here, then we'll assume the upside. So if it does what we think it's doing, which is making 2 running flat, the next impulse should be upside. Right? If it makes those 2 running flats, then the next impulse should be. As of now, we really don't know what it's doing. We'll wait and see. You probably wouldn't want to sell it there. There is no sell setup there. And the buy setup is limited, right? If it goes up, it's just going up for this, not very far. Probably just break that up and come back. So wait for that whole consolidation to finish, and then it's 1 more up, right? It should go 1 more up from there. And then we'll see what happens when it breaks the top, right? When this pattern completes itself and go, it could still come back here, but we'll take the buy. We'll try to buy from the bottom here going up and then take it. Because they keep going up, coming down, going up, come down, go up, come down. So if you go up this much, you might still come back here before you go. Let's see. Go back to the 1 hour. There's not really trade in there that you want to take. Especially if you're trading this for more longer term and not the very short terms. Let's see what we have here. Ethereum. Okay, this broke the top, so start looking for sell setups. It didn't came all the way, it just came to that level. So that's okay, it's going up there. and we start looking for sales. We don't have any sell setup here as yet, but we will start looking for sell setups, because in this pattern, from that point, we think this thing could come back down. Right? I don't think they'll break that though. They'll start to drop anywhere there. So once we get sell setup, we go for it. If you get buy setups, you'll have to take it with a lot of caution. If it becomes a flag or a flat there for upside, you would have to take that with a lot of caution, because this pattern is really flat. Now, once it breaks out of this impulse at the top there, then we can consider that this, I still don't like this to be on the correction. So I still think we're coming down. SRP. Okay, that is going up more within this impulse. So let's see how far we can go. I just want to see how far that can go before it comes back. It can go a lot. We're in this one, right? So they can still go a lot to the upside before it comes back. So 4 hour, 1 hour, let's see if we have buy setups if you can still take. Yep, you can still take. This was a flat. If it makes a flag there, you can still buy, right? This makes a flag here, you can still buy it, because that could still go up more. And let's see this, ADA. If you get a flag, you can still buy. That was a buy setup, you can still buy here. Still looks good for upside. And on the 4 hour, where would that go? All the way to this stop. Because we'll be looking at it like this. 1, 2, that's an impulse. This is the correction, come here, come back here, go back up there and then drop. So we're in a range. Right, this could go all the way to this top. This would still be the B1, but it will be an expanding flat. So if you can buy, there's one more buy here, and then we're looking for the downside, go back up and come back down. BNB. I think this one is a surprise. I didn't think this one was going to go up. So where are we in this structure? Oh, this one, this can't be only correction itself, because all of this is in here, which means we still have to come back down. Okay. If it's going to be a buy, this still has to come back down here, make it in the running flat, and then go. So this would be more of the upside. Take this out. There's a correction, and this is a correction. So the impulse would be this. The impulse would be this one. You still need this to come back here, then go. So it has to pull back one more, then go. And the whole big thing is still looking. This is a low, but we have this flat here. So I still think at some point this comes back up. Right, first come down for a flat and then complete the flat, go back up and then come. So I don't see this literally taking off to the upside as yet. If you get buy setups and take it, just take it with caution. Right, if they make buy setups, I don't see how it takes off. There's too many pullback that has to happen. So wait here, see what you get. Take the trade as a short-term trade, both directions. Dash. Okay, we took we were looking for a flag here to drop, but it went back. So what are we getting? Nothing. Absolutely nothing in this structure. That's not a buy setup there. Right, this one is flat. That's a sharp move. This is flat, so this has to come back, retest the low, and go. Even if you make a bigger flat here and go, it's still a big corrective structure. It's not the big impulse to the upside. So I'll be very cautious here. Now, you can buy this. This was a low, so yes, buy here is good. If you buy, you get out. You can buy again. You can put an entry over here. Should it take off, that's a trade. I think this one needs to pull back too. We have two sharp waves here and we didn't break that low. So at some point, this thing pull back for a running flat. If you're taking buy setups at the top, with a lot of caution, because at some point this has to pull back, make a running flat, then go. See, this structure is very good too. Like they drop, make a flag, drop, make a flag, drop. This is a flat. If this low was broken, if you find any chart where this low is broken, then it makes sense for the upside. But as of now, I don't see it being broken in the chart I'm using, and that means I think the more caution is this could go down back. Go on a 1 hour. If you get buy setups and you take it, just take it with a lot of caution. Let this pull back one more. Let this pull back here, and then you'll get a buy setup. Try to get the trade from here to go. Right, that would make sense because this is the B part of it. So, sell setup. This could go up one more, but this whole sharp move, this is still a sell setup. Okay, this has a little more to go. There's a line there where it should be the top of that, whatever that flat would be. Oh no, that line is for this. Take it off. That was the low that we broke, and take that off. We broke this low, take it off. This one actually did make a low here, and it's going up. So just keep buying. This could go up a lot. Take this off. So this could go up much more because it's coming from a lower point. It's not coming from, any buy setups you get, you can take. Right, this was a buy setup. This was a buy setup. Let it pull back here. If it pulls back here, you get another buy setup. And it pull back like this, and you get another buy setup here for upside. This is going up also. I think this one also came from a low. A couple of them can, no, this one didn't. This one actually is in this flat. So you get 1, 2, and it's going up. Well, could be the start of the upside. This was the lowest point. That's just a big flat. So if you get consolidation, take it. Any 1 or 4 hour buy setup you can take. It's not moving really fast though. So you have to take it with a lot of caution. Keep, you can't trade this with a small stop person. So if you take that trade, then you have to be, this is a small flag. They could go, they pull back, go, pull back. See all of they're pulling back every time. And this buy setup, this one is coming from a low here. And there's a sharp move to go, which is this one. It's not taking off as yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if they actually make one sudden move, get to the top, and then come back. Right, that structure is pretty safe. So buy setups are good. So far, it's still going up, right? So if you get a flag on an hourly, that's a good buy. If you get a flag here to buy, go into trade. Looks like a running flat. We have this here, right? And then you get this and you get it. So if this goes a little more here, it could come back like this, complete a running flat here, and then take off. So if you're taking a flag here, just be aware that it could make a sudden pullback and then go because of this one. So that's it. I think we've just completed it. So once again, reminder to all the traders who are watching this, you can join us live. You may have to go into the description afterwards, not right now. Give it about half an hour to an hour or so. Go check the description. You can watch the videos many times as you want. And register to join us live for the rest of the week. This afternoon, New York session will be live again for those of you who can join us. Great. Before I stop the recording, is there any question on YouTube that we can take? Oh, I am not doing so well. I have a flu, but I can still work, so I'm working. What's your Telegram group? I do not have a Telegram group. Don't try to connect me. Anybody send you a Telegram group is trying to fool you. How can you connect to me? The links you can only connect to me on Skype. Send me a Skype message and then I will give you all the details of how you can join the group if you wish to join the group, right? Or how you can join the installment program. You're going this week. Yeah, I didn't put it out. We were going to put it out, but I didn't put it out because I got the flu and we canceled it. And then this morning I felt better and I decided, well, we're just going to go live, right? So my apologies for that. We were going to put it out since last week, midweek for you guys, but after I didn't feel well, we didn't put it out on Saturday either. That's my fault, right? So get the Skype link, send me a message you want. We have a promotion for you guys. I think if you join us this afternoon, I'll tell you about the promotion again. You can pay the first $100 you'll get. We'll give you 2 months like we did before, or you pay $150 and we'll give you 3 months. That is the end of January. Why are we doing that? We're doing that so that you guys, when you join, you can make a decision whether 3 months is enough for you to learn that this is what you want, right? Basically, it's the only purpose because the sum of money you will eventually pay is the same. Whether you pay it in 1 month, 1 day, 1 week, or 1 year, doesn't make a difference. You're paying one sum of money to get access to the group for a lifetime. Every single trader in the group has paid that sum of money to get access for life. Those who paid it 5 years ago are pretty happy they did that 5 years ago. You know why? For 5 years, they've been having access to these live webinars and access to the group and access to everything else we did and access to the trade. People have made friends in this group, right? So there are traders here who think their money worth in time-wise. Let's just take time-wise. They got back their money, right? For 5 years, 2-3 hours a day. If I was security at your house, you would have to pay me more money. Like literally, you give me a stick and say, stand in front of this gate for 3 hours every day for 5 years, you'll have to pay me a lot more than the money for the cost of the course, right? And I mean, just the time-wise, you're getting more, right? So basically, if you like what I do as a work for lifetime access, then you're going to get access to me and all the traders in the group. Trust me, the traders in the group are amazing. You don't have to trust me. Forget about trusting me. Join us and see that. You join us for the week, for the 1 month or 2 months, pay $100, you get 2 month access, pay $150, you get 3 months access. After that, you'll have to pay $100 a month until you reach this sum of money. Now, there are a lot of traders who paid. The last time we did the promotion, they pay for 100, and then the next thing they do is pay the complete price because they want to be in the group. Right? One guy paid 100, then 400, then pays the rest out, 2,000 immediately. I'm like, dude, you ready? He said, yes, I want to be in the group. So he made 3 payments and completed the thing. And within, I think in less than a month, he actually did that. He didn't even wait to be at the end because he sees the value that he wants. Now, here's the thing. You can go on YouTube and search around as much as you want. I think all of you did that already. If you didn't do that, then you're making a mistake. You should go and check out all the free webinars everybody is giving you so you can make a decision whether the quantity and the quality of the work you're getting here is good. Mostly the quality. But we also do this 3 to 5 times live every day. You don't get that anywhere. You know what that means? That every time I come here, you can ask me a question. Dude, you said this is a flag that's going to break. What happened? I will explain it to you. We'll look at it. We'll describe it together. We'll discuss it. This is not a signal where I give you the signal and you don't see me. And you don't get to ask me a question. And then the next day, the signal changes. And you have no idea why. Right? This is a case where I start all my webinars with, guys, do you have any questions? And every single webinar in my group end with, do you have any questions for me before I leave? And that is repeated sometimes 3 or 4 times before I leave, just to make sure that I'm not leaving them open without a question. See if you get that anywhere else. Most times they don't want them to answer your question. They run away, right? Why? Because they don't have an answer. You can only have an answer if what you're doing is systematic and it makes sense and it's transferable and it's not a guesswork. That's how you do this. This is systematic. It makes sense. It's working. You can watch it play out properly. You'll be here with us for the whole week. You will see it happen. Now, not all the patterns we're going to get perfect every time because why? We're doing forecast. And patterns are complex. If you stay here this week, I'll show you how complex they can get. I'll show you how we do forecasts, why we do the forecast that way, and how it turns out to work. If you're that late that you didn't see Ethereum, which I did not too long ago, you need to watch the recording. Because we did it just a couple of minutes ago, my friend. You're a little late. Sorry about that. Come back, watch your recording again, right? It's going to be out. It's on YouTube. You don't have to worry. Make sure you register and join in time the next time with everybody, right? So I'm going to leave you guys with this. This was a very long webinar. What we're going to do this afternoon might be shorter because we'll be looking exactly at trades and trade setups. So we wouldn't be doing a webinar again. So join us this afternoon, 7:45 a.m. New York time. Share the link. Make sure you invite your friends who are traders. I want you to bring some skeptical people in. Some people who do not believe in wave analysis, who don't believe you can forecast the chart, those who believe the chart is random. I want some challenge. So bring them in. Bring the ones who are doubtful that this actually works, right? Aussie New Zealand on the daily downside. I can tell you that, David. We did it this morning in the Asian session. It's downside. We're looking for sell setups on the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour. All of them, they need the downside structure. Ethereum, I think it's in a consolidation for downside. I think right now you're looking at it. I can click it immediately and tell you we're looking for a sell setup here if we get it. From the top there, we're looking for a sell. It could make a new high, but I wouldn't be buying it at that point because of this structure. So it's most likely looking for this trade now. So join us. You'll get some knowledge as well. I'll see all of you guys. Thank you for being here. Please share it and let's get more people in this afternoon. Thank you very much. Trade with care. See you this afternoon. Take care. Bye.